Hello, I am Max Southerton. I am a game designer and student at Sheffield Hallam University, hoping to be considered for the role of a QA tester. I'm currently completing my final year at Sheffield Hallam University, where I study game design. I was inspired to do game design after completing some work experience at TT Games in 2016. I would later return to TT Games as a QA tester in the summer of 2017 to work on the LEGO Ninjago movie game. Outside of my course, I follow the esports world and regularly live stream video gaming content and hope to explore this further in my free time. Throughout my course, I have been taught and challenged in many areas of game design, including 3D modelling, 2D artwork, character design and more. From the completion of these modules, I now have a detailed understanding of the game creation process and what each stage entails. I hope to be able to apply this to my testing in the future, as by better understanding the components of a game it can be easier to find bugs. I have spent most of my time working within 3ds Max across my various modules. Similarly, Substance Painter and Designer and the Unreal Engine have been used across multiple modules, and I would say I'm very comfortable using these software. Photoshop and Premiere have been important to learn also, so that the work I submit looks professional and polished. I have set up an online portfolio which can be accessed through my website that showcases the work that I have done throughout my time at Sheffield Hallam. Here I have 3D environments, character design, group projects and more to showcase the skills I have learned. Be sure to check out my work on the site itself, where you can see some of my early work on design theory which earned me a first, as well as my second year group project, War Checkers, which not only scored 84% but was nominated for Project of the Year. In the background you can see some early stage blockouts from my first assignment in my final year at university. The 3D game art module challenged us to choose an old scene from a game and recreate it within the Unreal Engine. For this I chose a Pokécenter from Pokemon Fire Red. This was challenging because the only real reference I had was the original 2D game. As seen from my blockout images, I wanted to maintain the layout from the original game as closely as possible. Working on this project was really enjoyable. I was able to combine the skills I had learned so far from my course to create an environment that not only inspired me but also was challenging to design and create. I started off by creating modular walls to go around my scene. This was an important skill to practice, as modular assets can be reused around scenes to attach together similar assets. I designed all my textures first within Substance Designer. For the walls, I created a wall plaster texture as seen on my asset breakdown. I then took this texture and applied it to my walls in Substance Painter, where I hand drew the patterns seen on screen. Combined, this was brought into the Unreal Engine and applied to my environment. For some assets, I would reuse textures by applying them to new assets and hand painting them in Substance Painter. Once this had been applied in the Unreal Engine, I would use the texture nodes I had created to tweak the texture settings. Doing this saved me time but also helped to maintain the style that the original Pokécenter had, of a very uniform and plain colour and texture scheme. In order to light the scene, I had to spend a lot of time tweaking and testing different lights and lighting settings in the Unreal Engine. I used 4 main rectangle lights in my scene. I decided on this after observing the results of multiple lighting combinations and finding that this method best represented the original game. Lighting was the area of the project where I had the most issues to overcome. Mostly these issues were solved by creating better light maps for my assets. I am overall happy with the lighting of the final hand-in, and I am pleased with the overall quality of the work produced in this project. I hope that this highlights the skills that I have learned throughout my degree and shows that I have a detailed understanding of the software used and the process that goes into designing an environment. Thank you for listening. I hope that you will consider me for a role as a QA tester, as I am eager to see what skills I can bring from my course onto a QA team to contribute to the development of another game. On screen are some of my contact details, and as previously shown, you can access the rest of my portfolio on my website at maxsoutherton.wixsite.com/mysite. Thank you.